Hello everyone and welcome to episode 130 of the TEW 2020 New Japan Pro Wrestling Series here on the channel, as it is the Autumn Attack Tour. We'll be heading to Australia here in about a week, in the first 5 days, basically this whole week here, which is a pretty jam-packed week. There's 5 shows in just this 1 week time. So hopefully nobody gets hurt with that type of schedule, but we'll be in Japan for most of this tour, and then for like the back half, we'll be in Australia for it. But that's, it's going to be a fun tour, though. Obviously, our main event, we build up to it a little bit with the post-show press conference last episode, but it's Rey Fenix versus La Sombra. Little, as far as, this match, they had it at, as far as AW had it one time at a Rampage. That was about it. As far as in real life, to think that here in the Save we're having a main event, a big time show for the heavyweight title, kind of crazy. The IWGP heavyweight title being held in a title match between two luchadors shows you how how far away we've kind of dictated off the path and kind of made our own path a little bit with that type of booking, but they've been incredible. As far as obviously Rey Fenix has been a guy that has built himself up from a junior heavyweight title and junior heavyweight tag team title, seen with him and obviously Pentagon Jr. and all the way through into a tag team, heavyweight tag team title run with Pentagon Jr. But for him to beat La Sombra here, that would be huge. Obviously, you are just months away from Wrestle Kingdom to main event that, and that's going to be big time matchup for sure. Our co-main event, and what a big night this could be for Sombra and Rush, as we might see La Sombra as the heavyweight champion and Rush as the Intercontinental champion if he can beat Konosuke Takeshita here again tonight, like he did during the G1, which is why this match is taking place. So junior heavyweight title matchup: Chaz Gable and Daichi Hashimoto. I'm a little nervous that this is going to be docked down points because it's going to be the third match they've had now? Or this actually might be the fourth match they've had in this same calendar year, which is a lot. But this is, as far as we've had many different variations of this matchup. We've had the junior heavyweight title matchup with Gable winning. We've had the Best Super Juniors matchup, which of course you saw Hashimoto win. Obviously the title matchup that saw Hashimoto be crowned the champ, and now to see Hashimoto coming in as the champion, looking to beat Chaz Gable here tonight, would be very, very huge. Obviously, you have Wrestle Kingdom around the corner. We'll see what happens there between those two men, if Chaz Gable can win back the junior heavyweight title, or will Hashimoto retain it and end this rivalry between the two men. As a New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team title matchup, Jay White and King Devitt versus Kenta and Katsuki Nakajima. Now, we ended out the last episode with, some kind of CCTV footage and cell phone footage of the backstage brawl that happened during the post-show press conference at Wrestle Dynasty there at Cowboy Stadium at Arlington, in Arlington rather. But basically the build-up to this, how we're going to shift from Kingdom of Torture and the Monstars University team, is basically throughout this tour, you're going to be seeing multi-man matches, but then there's going to be a big-ass 10-man one to kind of put the fork in it, as far as the big ending major kind of matchup, as far as this big-time 10-man tag, to at least end it for now, as far as to be like, this is the ending point, and for Jay White and Devitt getting more tag team wins to go on to take on a team like Kenta and Nakajima for the New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team titles. Never Openweight title matchup, Kazuchika Okada versus Walter here. As far as this is, for Walter, missed out on being involved in, of course, Wrestle Dynasty, but I feel like this is a good constellation. Applies him and Okada. Should be a fun little matchup as well. Of course, with Okada, him and Walter, they had the matchup. Was that that was this year's G1. Just want to double check. See where it's at. Damn, I don't see it. Oh no, yeah, they had the never openweight title matchup at Dominion. That's what it was. Had the title matchup at Dominion. So a lot of people are probably like, well, how is this taking place? Well, with Okada having a heavyweight title matchup with Hiromu, and we're gonna give him some wins as well going into this tour. Basically, Volter wanting to, and plus he beat Okada for that belt, so another reason, a rematch clause for the champion there. So that's just another reason why, as well on top of it, we're also going to give some, Okada some wins over some of the, building up to this tour as well, building throughout it with United Empire and Koji Kamai matches. So there's that, but I just wanted to. Basically, the big preface is the rematch clause for the champion. Junior heavyweight tag team title matchup as the Cedric Alexander, Desmond Xavier Express, the CADX Express, taking on Robbie Eagles and Dante Martin. So obviously, one of the newer teams in Cedric Alexander and Desmond Xavier, gonna give them some wins throughout this tour. If I was smart, would have the Velocities get a rematch here against Robbie Eagles and Dante Martin, but since the Velocities had just lost the heavyweight tag team title matchup not too long ago, and they haven't really got their momentum back as far as from a junior heavyweight tag team's title picture scene, I felt like this was a good idea to give it to another team that's fresh and new, get them in there, get them accommodated, and obviously the power struggle is, a month away. It's not the next tour, because that will be Royal Quest, but it's close. It's around the corner. So giving them a kind of new team to take on as well for Robbie Eagles and Dante Martin. This should be a fun match, though. And Triple Talon Tandem, yes, with an E. The whole time I was thinking tandem with an O, but no, it is with an E. As I'm an idiot. It's just basically hands up in the air on that one. I thought for sure that's the correct way to go in about it. That is not. I'm surprised nobody mentioned it, but they're probably just like, oh, Max will probably figure it out. Will figure it out on his own. Sure did. A little too late, but hey, we got it. It's a Triple Talon Tandem taking on the Four Horsewomen. Now, this is not a tag team match. No, this is a trios match, because we are getting the newest member of the Triple Talon Tandem very, very soon. As far as it should be debuting during this tour. And that'll be the big time matchup there as far as to end out the tour for them, because also we want to have Tony Storm involved, but there's also on this tour, because it's so big, it's 8 Road 2 shows and then the final show. Actually, is it 8 or is it, hold on, I think it might be 9 technically. I think there's 8 Road 2 shows and then there's the final day. Yeah, it's 8 Road 2 shows and then the final, so it's 9 days. But throughout that 8 days of the Road 2 shows, there's actually going to be 2 title matches. Never Overweight 6-man tag team title matchup, which of course is Pac and the Lucha Brothers, and then the New Japan Strong Overweight Women's Tag Team Championship matchup, as it's going to be the Triple Talon Tandem team of Kairi Ojo and Io Shirai against, of course, Ashley Flair and Becky Knockout Quinn. As the opening contest, though, Sonata versus Miro, and a winner gets a matchup with Tyler Black for the G1 briefcase. So, President Tanahashi, did not want to give Sonata a free matchup with Tyler Black, just because for him, it's like, listen, you've been punished. You didn't want to be in the G1. You're not going to just be able to walk in and get a matchup with a guy who won the whole goddamn thing. You at least have to beat the guy who made it all the way to the finals in Miro. And also gives a chance for Miro to potentially get a rematch with Tyler Black as well for the briefcase. So I kind of like that idea of it as well. It gives both guys something to go to, to fight for and to gain for. And I think it's a fun way to open up the show as well. And it's Sonata's kind of first big time singles matchup since, obviously, him saying, fuck you, I'm not going into the G1. So this should be a pretty fun card, actually. I'm excited for, especially the main and co-main. We should have a fun match, though, for sure. Obviously, there's a lot of some Australians, some Kiwis on the card. You got Tony Storm and Jay White, of course, of the Kiwi side of things. You got Robbie Eagles of the Australian side of things. It should be a fun matchup, though. Should be a fun one, for sure. Of course, we try to make New Japan even though it is New Japan Pro Wrestling, this is more like fucking New Global Pro Wrestling, the way we're going all over the world. And showing off the king of sport with just all over the world. Wrestling in America, wrestling in Japan, wrestling, of course, in Australia and the UK and Mexico. Would like to have a tour in Canada, the way we just been kind of going all over the world. Fuck it, go to India. We'll go anywhere. If you got a ring, we'll go. We will go there. We are good to go, though, for the tour. With that, as backstage instant, Nojima, rather. I was about to say Osamu Ishimura. As Osamu Nojima was brought for arrest court, accused of being an hour late to pick up a signed travel partner. As the judge, Shinsuke Nakamura, found him guilty and sentenced to pay for travel partner's meals for the next 3 shows. As our main event, we have either the LIJ Task Force Death 8-man tag or the Monstars versus Brody King and Toru Tsujihara matchup. I think we're going to go with this one now, as the 8-man with Task Force Death getting the win, as Ray Fenix will be beating Tetsuya Naito. Actually, I think we're going to go... This is probably the technical match class match, if I had to guess. Yeah, it is. So, Daichi Hashimoto, though, is going to be beating Claudio Castagnoli. That is a major win for the junior champion. The Monstars and the Kingdom of Torture, which is, as far as the Monstars, Keith Lee and Donovan Dijak, the real Monstars. That's going to be a very, very fun match. That is kind of insane. The size of Brody King, Dijak, and Keith Lee in this matchup. Like, these are some big fucking dudes in there throwing around. So that's going to be a fun steal the show matchup. It might have to be the co-main. I don't know. The Saya Kamatani and Utami Ishista matchup against Hana Kimura and Starlight Kid. Oh, yeah, we're going to give them way more time. We might make this the co-main. Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Hana Kimura going to get the win, though, over Saya Kamatani. That's going to be a fun little tag match, though. I believe that's the first time meeting as well, tag team-wise. Yep. That's good. That's going to be good. That's a good little tag matchup. And builds up Hana Kimura, Starlight Kid, to be a potential challenger for the women's New Japan Strong, as far as tag team titles. Young Lion matchup with Kushida and Leona Fujinami taking on Isaki Kawajiri and Osamu Nojima. There, and then a singles one with Kaiji Yamato and Shonen Shozaki, which, of course, Kaiji Yamato will be getting the victory. So 2 Young Lion matches on the card. As far as from a show perspective, is it going to be the greatest thing in the world? Probably not. But I think that main event should go over pretty well. We'll see, though, because, as far as there are some guys that are kind of a little past their prime of that main event, but there's also some great talent in there as well. Kaiji Yamato getting them with the tomato vine. I guess the tomato vine, if you will, as he doubles him on points, as far as in-ring performance-wise. It's a 60 for Yamato, 30 for Shozaki. It's a 54 again, as Nojima and Kawajiri losing to Leona Fujinami and Kushida. Kind of crazy that they have excellent chemistry. We probably should have been doing this a little time. Good team. Good team in Kushida and Leona Fujinami from like a Lion Mark perspective. It's a fun team, and Kushida gets the win as well with the Kushida lock, as Chaz Gable and Claudio Castagnoli losing to Daichi Hashimoto and Shinsuke Nakamura, as Hashimoto and Nakamura barely, actually dead even, as far as Gable outperformed Hashimoto, but Nakamura outperformed Claudio, as vertical drop brainbuster, though, from Hashimoto onto Claudio Castagnoli. Pretty crazy, as a 66 for the Monstars Brody King Toru Tsujihara matchup. An ankle sprain for Brody King. That is tough. But the Monstars team gets the win as Donovan Dijak with an overhead belly-to-belly suplex over somebody like Brody King is pretty crazy. It's a nice win there for the Monstars. It's a high ankle sprain, too. That is tough. Hana Kimura, though, with the missile dropkick over Saya Kamatani in 2016. As Starlight Kid and Hana Kimura did great. So did Utami Hayashishita as well. Just, Saya Kamatani. Not so much. But, it was a good matchup, though. Glad it was the co-main. It did better than the fucking main event. As, Sombra and Ray Fenix and Pac did well. Everybody else, not so, especially Naito. My God, a 49. Pretty brutal, as Ray Fenix did the Meteor over Tetsuya Naito in 20 minutes there. The Hashimoto Nakamura match, best thing on the card against Gable and Claudio Castagnoli, which I'm cool with. At least we have a match that's building up to that Autumn Attack final show, doing well, but rest of the card, not so much. So how about at least we get an 80 out of the main event, but I was definitely asking for too much there by the looks of it. Unfortunate there, but that is day 1, and on to day 2 we go. Alright, so we're going to try something a little different. Like every other show, we're going to show off what we're kind of booking throughout the tour, but the other one we're just going to run it like this, like it's a normal like final show type of thing, to not really give away something on the card, just to change it up a little bit, just to make it a little bit more, because it is a pretty long tour too as well, so just kind of thinking of different stuff, that way if people want to see the booking process, they get that, and they also, for those that just want to see the final show and just, kind of run through these tour shows without a care in the world, it's a little bit of everything for everyone, so I kind of like that idea, to be honest. But yeah, Evil, getting the win here, as far as over the young lion, Akuma Amaya, as far as Evil getting the win, everything is Evil. But yeah, as far as Amaya, he's been gone for a hot minute, so he's a bit rusty, but be alright, as the CADX Express beating Dragon's Den team. So, it's Tactical Masterclass match, so I knew Desmond and Xavier are going to struggle. Cedric Alexander did pretty well, though. He gets the win over Kyle O'Reilly with the kick to kill in 20 minutes as well. Actually, a pretty good match. I would have liked to see this again, but without the Tactical Masterclass restraint. Definitely like a New Japan Strong taping as well. This would have been pretty fun to see, but yeah, good little matchup. So, there's a trios match tonight. It's Suzu Suzuki and the Triple Talent Tandem of, obviously, Kairi Hojo and Io Shirai. But, as they're making their entrances, as far as, first it's Triple Talent Tandem, but then Suzu Suzuki's coming out by herself. She gets attacked by the 4 Horsewomen. It's a 4-on-1 beatdown. And they're trying to make their way back up to the ramp to save her, but she's getting the shit kicked out of her, and they're starting off the match basically on the ramp. They get into it, they finally get in the ring, and basically it turns into a 2-on-3 situation, because Suzuki, they even just throw her off the little ramp and through a table. She's taking a crazy bump. So it ends up just being basically 2-on-3, and because of that, it's too much for them to handle as far as the Triple Talent Tandem, as Io Shirai and Kairi Hojo getting the loss there as Becky Knockout Quinn with the knockout in 7:26. So that's kind of why it was such a short match, and we jumpstart the match and all that kind of fun jazz. So just something a little bit out of left field where no one would probably expect that. But Suzuki, again, being fantastic. Her being a freelancer's kind of been in a unique spot. Because obviously she's not a part of a group or anything like that, but it's a chance for something like this where she's able to team up with some great talent, though. 69 for Dijak and Levi Meir, as Dijak and Levi getting the win, as Dijak with the reverse Death Valley driver. As, great stuff from Meir. Actually, good stuff from Dijak, too. 61 as well. Man Alexander doing well. Jarvis with a 51. That was a good little match. A good little match. 73 for the Monstars. University team of Miro, Samoa Joe, and Yoshiki Inamura against the Kingdom of Torture as Brody King with the Gonzo Bomb over Yoshiki Inamura. With a high ankle sprain, is kind of crazy to have him get the win, but he still outperformed Yoshiki Inamura. This probably would have been Okan, but we wanted to give Kingdom of Torture a win, so just felt like Inamura was the kind of perfect guy for that. 91. Lord have mercy, for our main event is Rush and Ryu Lee beating Konosuke Takeshita and Cody Umeda, as Rush getting the Lalanza win over Cody Umeda. Crazy matchup. No one even comes close to 91. I guess Ryu Lee's 86, but that's just insane that this got a 91 on a tour show. Hell of a match. What a main event. And that turned into a great show because of it. But that co-main event did well. Very, very pleased with that. Very, very pleased with that show, as on to day 3 we go. Alrighty, day 3, as we have some backstage incidents. Oh my god, Takanori Ito and Shinsuke Nakamura, as Ito is about for versus court, accused of being absorbed by his phone here, as he should have been paying attention during a locker room meeting. As the judge, Shinsuke Nakamura found him guilty and sentenced him to buy a crate of beer for the locker room. not too bad. No, it's not a positive impact for him, as well as Ishii passing on microphone work to Tomoya Tom Ford, and Brian Danielson passing on microphone work to Jerome St. Pierre. As our main events, we got a House of Black Designs of Perfection matchup. So maybe a potential tease of, as far as if we might see it, between Sonata and Tyler Black. As Baroni Yamamura beating Ayada Jr. Fujita here. Technical Masterclass matchup, so obviously that's not going to be too high up on the card. Lucha Brothers versus Sombra and Shingo, which Sombra's going to be Pentagon Jr. This one was a tough one to do, because Lucha Brothers are probably going to be the better team, but felt like this was kind of the best case scenario for that one. And Toni Storm and BB Crawford against Rio and Suzuki. So Suzuki trying to get some revenge here, but she's going to lose to, Rio's... Oh, that's right, she's in rehab. Which is crazy. Which is something I never thought I'd have to utter. As, trying to think, yeah, because she's kind of used, we might use the Young Lion for this. I'm trying to think if we should use Midori Nomura or should use Akemi. I think we're going to go with Midori Nomura. Why not? So this way, at least, Toni Storm can still get a win, her and BB Crawford, but it's just going to be against the Young Lion. There we go. The Gory Bastards versus Yota Tsuji and Tetsuya Naito. This is the other show matchup as Mox is going to beat Naito there. Crazy Naito's going to be so much worse than everybody else in that matchup. Well, that's the way she goes. Age is a son of a bitch. It is undefeated. It's Atsuki Aoyagi beating Kyoto Michinori there, as far as Young Lion, of course, losing in that one. Trios matchup, Koji Kamai in the United Empire, which that United Empire team is crazy good. As Zack Sabre is going to beat Vikingo, or Airbender in this case, as that will be the co-main. Probably could be the main event, though. Well, you better not. Better not. So, yeah, that's already been added, so we're good to go on the show. Should be a decent little show, especially with that main and co-main, if it delivers. I'm trying to think here. Yeah, it looks like we already ran... Oh, yeah, we already ran Hokuto. We already ran... Oh, wow, we still haven't had enough time pass. That's kind of crazy. Looks like it's Kyushu it is. Let's say the Convention Center is close, but the Kagoshima Arena will be close to a sellout. 5,000 people, though, and being that close is pretty crazy. Especially for a tour show. And so here we go, as Atsuki Aoyagi getting on the Firebird Splash in 10:30. Nice little win for Atsuki Aoyagi there. Getting a win over Kyoto Michinori. Which, Michinori, the 33 again, that's pretty impressive for a young lion. Is Midori Nomura and Suzuki, which they have excellent chemistry, so shout out them. We're just getting all these chemistry boosts here. As they lose, though, to Toni Storm and BB Crawford. But listen, if Midori Nomura is still improving and still getting better and better, and by the time she comes back from her excursion, we'll see how her and Suzuki can do, because they might be a hell of a little team. Especially if Suzuki still is, like, at a pretty high level by the time she comes back. That was a 68. An 81 for the House of Black Designs of Perfection matchup. It's the trios match as Baroni Yamamura, getting the Baroni bomb. That is not like a power bomb or anything. It's actually a Swanton bomb, which he does in real life, but obviously we wanted to add a little flavor to it by calling it the Baroni bomb. And I thought I like the alliteration BB, as far as from that perspective. But Tyler Black and Sonata, two of the best guys at the match, definitely carrying this one. But as far as out of the rest of the four men, Baroni Yamamura was the best, so I'm glad he got the win there by mine. Both managers, Prince Nana, Milano Collection AT did well. Logan McQueen's doing well with his new move, as far as that new move. It's a good match. It's 81. It's better than this, as a 78 for the Gory Bastards and Yota Tsuji and Tetsuya Naito, as Moxley with a Death Rider over Tetsuya Naito with a 49 again. Boy, oh boy. Brutal. Brutal to see. I mean, hell, we might, as far as really with Sombra as the main champion now, the heavyweight champion, Los Ingobernables de Japón is almost looking like it's just going to be Los Ingobernables by the end of it, but there still are obviously mostly Japanese talent involved. Actually, everybody's Japanese besides Sombra, so that's just kind of funny how that worked out. As Koji Kamai in United Empire, as far as the trios matchups at 80, with Zack Sabre Jr. with the European clutch over airbender who actually did pretty well, 74. He was the best guy on his team, wildly enough. But yeah, Walters, Activate Jr., 83, 82. It's a good little match. Good little match. Oh, did better. This did better, though. I'm glad we went with this as the main. But we knew they were going to be better, as far as a team, than Shingo and Sombra. But the Brilliante driver from Sombra over Pentagon Jr., tough break. Tough break there. But a good match, though. It's a good match, and actually a really good show. Especially, yeah, it's the 380s. That's not bad at all for a tour show. Not bad at all. So that is day 3 in the books. On to day 4 we go, and then we'll be almost a little at the halfway point. A little close to, a little bit more closer to the halfway point, rather, as I was trying to say. But yeah, once we get through basically this week, we'll be into Australia, and then it's smooth sailing ahead. Alrighty, day 4, as we start off with Taira Tamura beating Young Lion Moroka Takato, as far as with the jackhammer in 10 minutes, which he did obviously fantastic. And this is kind of fitting for him. Let him use his strength, let him look like $1 million, but, as far as Moroka Takato trying to get a comeback going, but ends up just being, too much power, too much experience, and really just too much everything for him, too much skill. Just can't overcome it. But that's a fun match, though. Fun little matchup for the Young Lion to learn with somebody with, as far as his main event of Wrestle Kingdom. But John Moxley and Shota Umino taking on SB Kento Tetsuya Naito, as Naito does not get pinned this time. It's Shota Umino getting the Death Rider over SB Kento. Yeah, I just felt like Naito could use a break from not getting as many losses, but man, he has been just horrendous. It's a 70 for Miro and the Great O'Khan. They don't work well as a team. That blows. But hey, someone was going to eventually have some bad chemistry, but Will Hobbs and Brody Lee, on the other hand, though, had a pretty good chemistry here. O'Khan with the Tenzan Tombstone Driver in 547. It's a great little win for Miro and O'Khan. As yeah, Hobbs head and shoulders above everybody else. Brody Lee, a weak link, unfortunately, but man, it was a good match for having a negative and positive chemistry. Samoa Joe and Keith Lee here, taking on King Devin and Jay White, as here's a win for Devin and Jay White, as Jay White with the Blade Runner, rather, over Samoa Joe in 2012. Yeah, Jay White best guy in the match, followed by Devin, so yeah, there was a much better team. Really no surprise there. It's an 84 for the Bomb Squad and Diamond K, as Diamond K with the win, as Kato Crusher with the win over Demonic Mamba with the K2K Bomb. Very good matchup here. As far as Kato Crusher, 60-70 did better than Demonic Mamba, so I'm glad that happened. But Cody Ameda and Konosuke Takeshita did better than Roosh in that regard. That was a hell of a match, though. Somehow this is a 96, though. Jesus Christ. As a never openweight 6-man tag team title matchup. Task Force Death retained, though, as Pac gets the win over Yota Tsuji, so I'm glad we had a never openweight 6-man tag team title matchup that had a 96 on it. I mean, that's crazy. Crazy. But yeah, I mean, these people at the Iwadi Professional Gymnasium had a hell of a match by the looks of it here. That's insane. But Sombra is not a double champ, unfortunately for him, but now we'll see if Ray Phoenix will be, though, if he can beat Los Sombra in our main event of All-Out Attack. A 91 tour show is pretty crazy. Did not expect that at all. A hell of a show. As on to day 5, we go our final day in Japan, and then we'll be heading off to Australia. Alrighty, as day 5 here, we get our backstage incident. As far as off of the excursion, Chris Vart and Shinsuke Nakamura, as part was brought for Wrestler's Court, accused of not joining the Wrestle Locker Room for a night out. Can't be doing that, as Nakamura found him guilty and sentenced him to 5 drinks after the show. Tomohiro Ishii passing on microphone work to Tomoya Tom Ford, and Sonata passing on psychology to Kenji Shiga. As for this main event, now this is a tough one, but I think we're going to go with the, back-to-back title matches here, with New Japan Strong Women's Openweight Tag Team title matchup. It is a DQ finish, but we see, once the DQ happens, we see Konami make her debut as, so with the, it's going to be a DQ. So that will be Ashley Flair with the loss, and Io with the win. We'll just go with that. Should be the one to hit Io with, we'll go with a cane. Singapore cane. That seems to be kind of safe That's safe for these ladies. You don't want anyone getting hit with a fucking chair or anything. But yeah, Konami making her debut and basically being, kind of, I would say definitely, well, it depends on where we're going to run the show, but also we're going to have the CADX Express against the Time Splitters here, as Desmond Xavier will be getting the win over Alex Shelley. I would say Corkin, but we could run a 5,500 seat venue, which is pretty big, actually, especially for a tour show. Again, I really don't know. I'm trying to think, is there, I thought there was a 5,000 seater. I thought there was, yeah. The Ota Ward Gymnasium. That would be pretty nice to run there. Is there any, let's say, is there like a 5,500? The Yokohama Cultural Gymnasium. I thought there was. Yeah, we have a couple of 5,000 seaters. But yeah, we'll run there for this show. So, definitely having Kana, as far as signal to the back, waving hands like, come on, as far as after the kendo stick to make the save. And to, as far as for her, as far as now with Triple Talon Tandem, which, where they at? There they are. As far as Konami, now with Karyocha and Io Shirai, really, the link too with Konami and Kana, pretty sure trained Konami. I'm like 99% sure she trained her. If not, she didn't train her. She definitely was a big helping point for her in the kind of early days of her career, because I know, at least in the game, she's a protege of her. So I'm almost positive she trained her. But I don't want to put my full 100% out, 99% sure, just in case I'm wrong. But I think she kind of fits right in for what they need. They need a third person. It is Triple Talon Tandem, and Kana can't work, so I feel like that's kind of a perfect way of going about it. But the Bomb Squad in Diamond K, so the 8-man tag here, I kind of want this the main event. I know I shouldn't, but I feel like this is the better case for it to be the main event, as Riley's going to beat Kenta as well. So I think it's going to be a hell of a win for the Bomb Squad. And all around, I think it's going to be a better match. We'll see, though, as United Empire and Kazuchika Okada and Keisuke Okuda, as Volter's going to beat Okuda, which I believe that's Okuda's first ever loss in New Japan, which is kind of crazy. But also, at the same time, he's only been around for a couple of shows, which is kind of crazy. But he definitely, we don't want him to go on like a crazy winning streak or anything. So I feel like this is kind of a good little stopping point for him as far as getting wins and whatnot, as Koji Kamai of Francesco Akira and Herrera de Ramada against the Lee Moriarty Gavin McGavin team, which is this basically giving them a win back. The idea there. So I think we're gonna put that there, have that open the show, and then Sugata Sato against Junta Miyawaki, as Miyawaki as getting the win here over Tsuguda Taka. As far as, I feel like that's just, this is a great little match of two people that are freelancers that are trying to get their foot in the door, trying to work their way up the card, and Junta is super talented. So is Sugata, though. Sugata, I mean, he's super talented. He's got a lot of great things going for him. He's going to lose here, unfortunately. This was a tough, I don't know, maybe we should have somebody else lose instead. That might be the plan. We might end up going with that. Let's see who's recognizable that we could use in a technical masterclass for match up. Let's exclude everyone, just to make this a little easier. Oh, and I see Fujinami on the list. Oh, Ren Narita's kind of a good call. Yeah. I haven't used him in a month as well, so yeah. Ren Narita's upset. Either way, someone's going to be upset, but I think that's the better option there. We're good on that. We got our venue. Should be good to go. Let's run it as a 66 for the opener. Junta Miyawaki does outperform Ren Narita as he gets the submission victory in 17:34. We're going to give him his finishers, but the Ota Ward Gymnasium sold out, 5,000 on hand. For this tour show is Airbender and Francesco Akira beating McGavin and Lee Moriarty. Actually, a pretty close match. With the excellent chemistry, though, that definitely helped them out a lot. As Francesco Akira with the win over Gavin with the Akira Salt. Desmond Xavier getting the submission victory. Another guy we got to give his finishers to, but Cedric Alexander doing well. It's crazy Alex Shelley is. In 2027 would be 43, I want to say. And he's still performing at a pretty high level. God bless him. I mean, we'll keep Alex Shelley employed for as long as we're doing the save. He's not going anywhere. He'll be a fucking agent if he retires. So he's got a job for life because he's fucking Alex Shelley. He's the man. But United Empire in Okada and Okuda, actually a good little matchup. Okuda with a 59, which is kind of shocking. He was as worse as everybody else was by far. Definitely the weak link, loses to Falter as well in 2021. Great matchup, though, for Falter and Zack Sabre Jr., as they're still doing well as a team. Boy, when they were running roughshod over teams, that was a hell of a run they had as tag team champs. They were a great team. Great team. Still are a great team. As the New Japan Strong Women's Openweight Tag Team title matchup as a DQ finish, as they should not have won the New Japan Strong Women's Tag Team titles because of the fucking belts. It was a DQ finish. I guess, though, in Japan, they do have that. They don't use the same type of DQ finish rules that American companies do. I did not think about that. So we might have to. Hopefully that is not the case. Hopefully. The way it said that they won the belt, so we'll have to. Probably should have checked that in the booking notes. But the Bomb Squad beating Diamond Gay here with Riley beating Kenta, and as far as an 84 here, it's a great little 8-man. A lot of talented people involved. Demonic Bumble with a 61, the only guy in the 60s. Everybody else was in the 70s. So really great match for what we asked for him, and good stuff. Good stuff. Cannot believe they gave him the tag belts. Looks like they did. So, we're going to have to hurry up and change that. Should be pretty easy to alter the championships, and hopefully everything goes well there. Not the tag team title reign is going to be fucked up already for a brand new belt, so that's just fun. But, it should be fine. But now, on to Australia we go. Exciting times to go to the land down under, and for these next couple of tour shows, and then we'll end it out with the big time show at the end. Should be a banger, though. So far, no one important has gotten hurt. Thank God. But, boy. Oh, look at Shima. Got 0-1 now. That makes a lot of sense, though, as far as he's got to take care of something. He's not. It would have been kind of cool if he went back to Dragon Gate, but I get it. Yeah, as far as. That's kind of crazy. He's a part of 3 Hall of Fames. I mean, it makes sense, though. It's just kind of crazy that he's got the DDT one now. Crazy Shima's almost 50 at this point. But yeah, on to, as far as day, I forgot what day we're at, day 6 we go. Alrighty, so we start off with Makito against Akimi Nishimura, which actually a bit of a swing and a miss here. I think it's because this was in Australia, and Makito not really, unfortunately, over enough to make this work. But as far as it's a Young Lioness matchup, so I'm not too upset by that rating, even though it's pretty bad, but it is what it is. Takanori Ito and Rex Steiner getting the win over Jesse Stanley and Herman Hurst. As this actually cooled the crowd as well. Pretty brutal. The announcing gave it a lift, though, so they tried. But Steiner recliner from Rex Steiner over Herman Hurst there. It's a 57. Oh, Leona Fujinami gets hurt. Damn, a partial posterior cruciate ligament tear. Oof. Tough. And Chaz Gable, though, at least Daichi Ishimoto did well. The Fujinami armbar, so he even gets the win with that fucking partial posterior ligament tear. So that's pretty crazy. But yeah, the crowd wasn't over, or wasn't warmed up properly, so this gets hurt. That will also mean the Steal the Show matchup gets fucked up. Oh, Chaz Gable's the one who caused it. Just great. Oh, no, it did pretty well. The Velocities getting the win, so the Aussies getting the win here in Adelaide. And as far as beating Kota Ibushi and Fuminori Abe, which he beats Ibushi, that's Drew London. This one's hurt to do, because I knew Ibushi was going to do bad. I didn't know he was going to be really off his game and have a 50. That just kind of shows you that the man is washed. Man, another one going by the wayside of New Japan's royalty, as far as with the kind of golden years of like the early and mid 2010s. Tough fucking blows. But here it is what it is. We knew what we were getting into when we knew we were going to get into the later years of the 2020s. that the guys of that brought the company to a pretty high level are not going to be around anymore, and we're seeing it here. But that was a good match, though, with the velocities, though, nonetheless. And pretty well. 83 for Sombra and Bushi against Shota Umino and Rey Fenix, but Sombra doing really, really well. Because of his here in the save, he had been like pushed pretty heavily in the WWE. He's going to do really, really well here. And 88 on a tour show shows you how over he really is. But he's going to get the win over Bushi. Or rather, Rey Fenix is going to get the win over Bushi with the Meteora in 20 minutes. A good match, though. Probably could have been the main event, but the main event is a 10-man tag, as it actually turns into a bit of a 4-on-5 affair, because Sonata, Burberry Baba, and Tomoya Tom Ford attacking Miro, so a 3-on-1, and it turns in, as far as the Monstars University, like Levi Meir is caught up in a ring with Jay White and the Kingdom of Torture, while as Keith Lee and Dijak and Joe are trying to even the fray and fight off the Designs of Perfection. So turns into a bit of an ugly affair for the Monstars University team, and Levi Meir losing here, which was big tough because he was the second best guy in the match. Brody King's injury didn't help matters. Keith Lee was really off his game too, and he had a 58. Pretty brutal for this 10-man tag. It sucks that was the main event, especially considering the co-main did so much better. But that's the House of Torture and Monstars University, the 10-man matchup that we talked about earlier, which it having a bit of a fuck finish probably didn't help matters at all, but we wanted to at least give Miro a reason why he's a little bit more. It's a little bit more personal now. Him getting involved, Designs of Perfection and Sonata getting involved in attacking Miro before their matchup. But yeah, that is day 6, our first match in Australia, our first show rather in Australia for this tour. I mean, it could have been worse, I guess, but not a great start. But we got 2 more tour shows at least to go through, as on to day 7 we go. Alrighty, day 7, and for this show, we have a Bomb Squad Diamond K Trios match, which is a lot of fun, but as far as Hiromu getting the win over Kato Crusher, so a big win there for the Bomb Squad. What a team, though, with Rush, Ryu Lee, and Hiromu. That is going to be a crazy matchup. So a fun little matchup here, though, as I wanted to basically, instead of it being an 8-man, let's split it up into 4 tag teams, which we got to change. Yeah, we got to get rid of Katsuki Kitamura. Unfortunately, we're going to go with Dijak, and then Joe with Okan, which is actually, I fucking love that team. But the idea here, having Kingdom of Torture have 2 teams, Monstars have 2 teams, winner getting that New Japan Strong openweight tag team title matchup. So to really usher in that they are, a deserving team to go on to take on Kenta and Nakajima, let this win, as they're going to beat Devitt here. Will be beating, man, this is a tough one. I don't want it to be Dijak, because he just debuted. I don't want it to be Joe, because Joe's lost a good bit. I think we're going to have to go with Okan. I think we're going to have to. That's tough. It's a fun team, though. It's a fun team. And obviously we don't want to have Miro involved in this matchup, because obviously Miro's got the matchup with Tyler Black. So there's also that too. So this is kind of the unfortunate scenario with that matchup. And we also are going to have Kairi Ojo and Konami teaming up to take on BB Crawford and Toni Storm, which Konami's going to get her win in her debut. Okada and Keisuke Okuda against Josh Alexander and Gavin McGavin, which the Aussie and Gavin McGavin getting at least a showcase here, as he's not going to lose at least. Well, he's going to be on the losing team, but at least he's not going to lose outright. That would be Josh Alexander. Then Dante Martin and Desmond Xavier, as a little build up to their tag team title matchup, obviously. We probably could have Robbie Eagles involved against Desmond Xavier, but I felt like this was a better matchup. Also, on day 8, we're going to be seeing Dante, or not Dante, rather, the other half of that equation with Alexander and Cedric Alexander, but I might change that. We'll keep that for now, but because we already have a Steal the Show matchup too. Yeah, I think we're gonna change that. Because I want to say we actually might have a trios match instead on that last day. Yeah, we do. It's them and Garza. So yeah, we'll let it be Robbie Eagles, Desmond Xavier. Give them a little bit more time now, and give the hometown Aussie a win. Which then also, we can, to counter that, we can now have, instead of having the, Jamie Hayter and Akemi Nishimura, we can go with the other side of that equation with Alexander Dante Martin, which is a very fun match. Give them about the same amount of time, maybe a little bit more. So I actually think this might be the better match. And obviously giving Alexander the win, so it'll be a little 50-50 there. Well, I mean, the card got better off of that. So there is that. Yeah, we'll put it there. I think we're good to go. I think we are good to go. Oh, yeah, we gotta pick the venue. The plan is to try and run the, where's that? Yeah, the Melbourne Cricket Ground. 100,000 people. Would be pretty awesome. Don't know if it's going to happen, though. We're going to try. Try to run there, so we're going to leave Victoria open for a little bit. The backup plan, then, is, I believe... I don't think it's the Suncorp. I thought there was another stadium that was pretty big. Yeah, the Accor Stadium, which is 82,000. So... we'll leave those places open for now. So we'll be able to run here in Queensland. See there. Townsville Stadium's 2,500, which is a solid one for now, but I was hoping there'd be... yeah, there's 2,700, the Chandler Arena. I think that's going to be... oh no, there's 4,000. Perfect. This will be in Brisbane for this one, as Keisuke Okuda and Kazuchika Okada beating Josh Alexander and Gavin McGavin with the Haju Bomb there for Okada in 2017. Good little match. Okada and McGavin, the best guys in the match. That's pretty great. 66 for Kairi Hojo and Konami against Toni Storm and BB Crawford. As, Konami with a 57. She's not really used to being here in Australia, so I don't really mind that. Obviously, didn't want to have Toni Storm losing as the Kiwi, a little close to home. She was pretty bad, though. She probably could have got the loss, but it was a good win, though, for the Triple Talent Tandem. Robbie Eagles beating Desmond Xavier with a Warp 4-5. Xavier tired in the matchup, kind of crazy. 81, though, for Alexander and Dante Martin. Hell of a matchup there. As Cedric Alexander with the kick to kill in 22-29. Did better than this, as, it was elimination style. That was not the case. I forgot to change that. I forgot that the default 2v2v2v2 match is an elimination style matchup, because it would have just been first of all to a finish. But yeah, what a win for Jay White and Devitt. Which, I mean, it's tough, because yeah, now that would mean a Monstars team, someone will have lost there, and I don't mind Brody King and Sujiwara getting eliminated, but it was that Monstars team that I was trying to avoid losing. But a hell of a match, though. For Okan, he was the second best guy in the match. That's kind of crazy. Yeah. I mean, it would have been kind of... sure, you could have been smart enough to have, like, Sujora Brody King, like, lay down and, like, finger poker doom style. But we don't want to do that. We want to have a fun, crazy multi-man match. I don't know if it would have been tornado rules. That would have been maybe a little too crazy, but that could have been a fun idea, though, making tornado rules. That would have been a crazy match. But our main event, an 84 trio-style matchup here as a trios matchup. I don't know why I said trio-style, but the Bomb Squad versus Diamond K. Hiromu beating Kato Crusher with a time bomb in 22:08. Hell of a performance from Ryu Lee. Hiromu and Cody made him Konosuke Takeshita. Rush, not so much, though. Almost gets outperformed by Kato Crusher. Boy, he's not looking good going into this title matchup with Konosuke Takeshita. I will say that. But a hell of a show, actually. Much better than the first day in Australia. And now on to the final tour show. Day 8 is on the horizon. Hopefully, we have no more injuries because Fujinami got hurt pretty badly. Luckily, the surgery helped a little bit, but he's still going to be out for a couple of months. So that sucks. Another person that's out like that. I mean, man, we have a lot of injuries so far, which has been pretty brutal. But luckily, as far as nobody again that's on that final show has been hurt, as long as we stay out of our, stay away from anyone seriously getting hurt, we should be fine. But yeah, on to day 8 we go. Alrighty, day 8 as our final tour show is here, as Yui Moore beating Dalmar Khan, the bridging double in suplex. Actually, a good performance from Yui Moore, especially us being in Australia for this one. But yeah, I mean, it was compared to some of the other opening matches we've had on this tour, not bad. Not bad, as Chaz Gable and Claudio Castagnoli beating Kushida and Daichi Hashimoto as Claudio gets his win here with a stretch buffer over Kushida. Tough break, as Kushida worst guy in the match, but Chaz Gable and Hashimoto, again, they've been just fantastic against each other. So 66 for Ashley Flair and Toni Storm against Konami and Io Shirai. Konami getting the submission victory over Ashley Flair, which Konami did outperform her, but it was because Ashley Flair was really off her game. She gets to win the cross armbar, though, in 10 minutes. So 69 for Angel Garza with the CADX Express against House of Black as the War 4-5 from Top Flight and Rob Eagles. There's Rob Eagles pinning Angel Garza with that one. Yeah, I mean, Cedric Alexander is really being the heavy lifter of that team and of that tandem for sure, and just a tough break all the way around. Angel Garza, again, just a freelancer that, with Archangel the Venom and Rehab, he's just kind of a man lost out there. He would have been a great guy to be a part of that, the Power Struggle Tour, obviously the Super Junior Tag League, but now with obviously the Venom not being able to be involved, who knows, as far as in that regard. We might send Garza down to, CMLL to at least let him do something, so he's not just sitting around doing nothing. But Keith Lee and Miro beating the Sonata Tomoya Tom Ford team, as Miro and Keith Lee getting the one with Lee with the Power Slam over Tomoya Tom Ford in 10 minutes. Not bad there. Sonata did outperform Miro, as Sombra and Rush teaming up against Ray Phoenix and Konosuke Takeshita. So we have the 2 title matches in our main event colliding here, and it's going to be a time limit draw. This one was a bit of a roll of a dice here, because if somebody would have got hurt here, this would have sucked, but luckily it does in fact work out. I wanted to maybe potentially give Sombra and Rush the win, because they have that history together, but because they're a part of Bomb Squad and LIJ, felt like that had been a little too weird, and felt like this was kind of the best case scenario for it anyways, but man, that Sombra Phoenix match is going to be really good. I'm hoping for the Takeshita Rush match to go over well. Rush just, I don't know if he's declining physically. Is that what's going on with him? Let's see. No, well, just a cold crowd. And I heard him, it's just holding back. So, we'll see. I think he's going to bring it, though, for that main show. I hope so, at least. Fingers crossed for that one. As on to the main show we go, hopefully, in front of 100,000 people. That would be fantastic. To go from the Inoki Suba Arena to that would be pretty great. But we'll see, though. Alrighty, so unfortunately, we got to run it at a core stadium, so 82,500. It is a sellout crowd, but the card is subject to change, because the opening contest has now been pushed to the co-main event, because Konosuke Takeshita, Rush is not happening. Of course, Rush and Konosuke Takeshita, I didn't even talk about this, they had their match at Wrestle Dynasty. Now, Konosuke Takeshita won. Was thought to be clean. Nobody interfered or anything, but Tanahashi scheduled the matchup anyways. Wanted to see it again. Well, now with, as far as the card, had to be changed. Rush injury happened on the Strong taping, so there's that. Now you might be thinking, well, wait a minute, Max. We saw the show after New Japan Strong. There was no injuries. You're right, because it was aired on another day. We had to film it on another day. No, we didn't. So I'm just joshing you. It's okay, Faye. Really, what happened is we're building a story. Is Tanahashi a little bit over his head? as the new president. Because now he's been booking matches that have already been done. And with Tanahashi, says, with this injury, we've had to change the card up. It's Ryu Lee and Jon Moxley. The rematch from Wrestle Dynasty, so another Wrestle Dynasty rematch. But Moxley, the champion, getting his rematch, is now the challenger against Ryu Lee, and that's going to open up the show. So, we've had a card change. We have a title match now. We have a new title match. Instead of the Intercontinental title matchup, we now have Never Openweight, New Japan Strong Openweight title matchup, which opens up the show. And it's a 92. As Ryu Lee makes his first defense. He beats Jon Moxley yet again here. And a fun match, as far as to open up the show with it. It's interesting. But yeah, I mean, this is now, the card has been put in a disarray a little bit. But we get a fresh match, at least from the sake of building up to it. Because obviously the people in Australia had no idea this was going to happen until the day of the show. But that is the opening contest. The next matchup, Triple Talon Tandem, get the win as Konami, Kairi Hojo, and Io Shirai beat the 3 of the 4 horsewomen here, as Io tapping out Ashley Flair with the Clover Leaf. It's a nice win for Io, as far as she was the best woman in the matchup. And she beats Ashley Flair in that one. The 76 for the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title matchup, as Cedric Alexander, Desmond Xavier losing to Robbie Eagles and Dante Martin, as Robbie Eagles with the win over Desmond Xavier with the pulse drop. Probably could have given it to Dante instead, especially because he was the better guy, but it is Robbie Eagles in Australia in front of 82,000 people. Feel like because, I mean, that's a great win to have, for sure, but a fun match. I'm surprised it was only a 76, but I guess Desmond Xavier 63 really brought it down. But they did well, as far as Dante and Robbie Eagles did. So 81 for Volter and Okada. Kind of crazy it was only an 81, but again, Volter did his thing. Gets the win of the Golden Bomb with an 88 over Okada in 21-32. Okada was a 65, though. Pretty tough. There's an 86. And yeah, there actually was because it was the 4th time, there was a penalty, but it was still a good match. Daichi Hashimoto beating Chaz Gable in 27-34 for the vertical drop brainbuster, and that is his first defense of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, and it's our next matchup. Boy, oh boy. So it's going pretty smooth. Diamond K are starting to get some momentum towards the kind of the end of the matchup, but then Nakamura appears, and he's coming down to ringside. And it looks like he's going to join, like, the commentary team. And they're just kind of like, oh, well, all right, Nakamura's here. He's not scheduled for a match or anything like that. And he gets on the, as far as the commentary team, he's at the table. He just, grabs a little headset and goes, this president of ours, he's in over his head. He's changing the card around. He's doing his own thing. No one knows what he's doing. He could talk to somebody about it, like myself, someone that has been beside him from the damn near the beginning. And yet he's just trying to drive this company into the goddamn ground. Someone's got to do something about it. And he puts the headset down. And I'm like, oh God, all right. I don't know what he's... And then he just jumps into the ring as he notices that Devitt has distracted the referee. Boomaye to the back of the head of Katsuhiko Nakajima, because he does not even know that there's somebody else in the ring with him. As the Boomaye to the back of the head, Nakajima down he goes. Blade Runner from Jay White. 1, 2, 3. Hit everyone. Jay White and Devitt, they're stunned. But they embrace Devitt, they embrace Nakamura, who has just... we put the attack on Kenta, but it should have been on Nakajima, but that's alright. As Kenta is stunned as well, he's trying to tell the referee, like, there's interference, we got screwed out of the belt. But a crazy, chaotic moment there, and we have New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions, Jay White and King Devitt, as the matchup for the opportunity to face Tyler Black for the G1 briefcase. It's our co-main event, and it's only an 83. Kind of crazy. As Sanada gets him on the rounding body press in 28 minutes. Beats Miro. Tough break for Miro as he loses here to Sanada, but he gets his chance. In our main event, Rey Fenix, Los Sombra. Sombra gets the win, and it's his second defense with the split-legged corkscrew senton in 31-37. Great win great match, as of course they have the great chemistry, and actually the G1 match was better. The G1 match was on 99, here it's on 97. I thought it'd be a 99, but it's the way it goes. And immediately the post-show press conference is a stunned press with Nakamura, Devitt, and Jay White. And for Nakamura, it's kind of continuing the same adage of, he's making people, he's suspending people. He's booking matches that have already been booked. He's in over his head. Someone's going to do something. And I figured that these guys, Kingdom of Torture, Devitt, Jay White, they know the cause. They are the ones that can bring down New Japan. And, as far as he's seen this company, he's put it on his back. He's a young rookie. He's a heavyweight champion, as far as the youngest heavyweight champion. What Antonio Inoki, what that vision for New Japan was, as far as to his fucking dying wish, to keep New Japan afloat. And he's seen what Tanahashi's doing, and he knows that it's not it. He knows that this is not what he envisioned, what Inoki envisioned. He knows that this is not the New Japan that made the world spin, as far as made the wrestling world explode into Japanese pro wrestling. And that these guys, and Devitt and Jay White, they've been a part of it. But maybe we need, as far as for him, with Nakamura says, I try to do it the straight and narrow way, but maybe I gotta get my hands dirty and go to someone that is gonna go that extra step and make sure something bad happens. And for Jay White, ecstatic. He's brought in Devitt with a ruse, over Tanahashi, and now to have King Nakamura, he's got King Nakamura, King Devitt, the Kingdom of Torture, with a little bit of strong style now, is going to be interesting. It's a new path for Nakamura also. Talks about, sure, my Kingdom of Strong style. The guys I was trying to help have that same fundamental foundation that I had as a young man. I gave them the choice. I told them before I went out there, listen, you're going to hear from me first. Things are going to change. You can either join up with me for the Kingdom of Torture, you can go your separate ways. I'll let those guys answer for them. But for me, it's a part of Kingdom of Torture. And for Nakamura, this heel Nakamura, it's a different Nakamura than we've had for the past couple of years now. We've brought him back, and he's been basically the same self he was before he left. Now we can go with a different direction. And I kind of want to go back to the that kind of mid 2000s, like 2007, 2008, like that kind of mid 2000s era of Nakamura with like the big like jacket coat, as far as the flying triangle, maybe do something even more vicious, more brutal, turn it up a notch for Shinsuke. Let him kind of be the dickhead heel. And I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a different type of Nakamura. But there is that press conference. Next one's Konosuke Takeshita talking about how, listen, sure, it was weird when he got the call that he was going to have to go to Australia and have a match with somebody he just beat in America. Sure. But he was ready for it. And he says, tough shit that Rush got hurt, but it's on to the next guy. He's not going to wait around. And he knows that Shingo beat him during the G1. And he knows that he's probably going to have a matchup with him. And as far as for him, he's hyping up the match. For Konosuke Takeshita hyping up his match with Shingo, saying that, I know it's coming. Is it going to be a Royal Quest? I'm sure. Tanahashi's got a lot of things on his plate right now with what's going on with the company and what's going on with Nakamura and what's going on, going all over the world. He's defended that belt in America for Konosuke Takeshita. He's defended the Intercontinental title there. He's looking to defend the belt all over the world. He wants to be the best. He wants to beat the best of the best. He wants to beat the guys who beat him during the G1, and he's hoping to go in the Wrestle Kingdom as the Intercontinental Champion. So a little press conference, a little babyface press conference. So it's kind of been an upside down effect of this press conference so far. And the next man is Sonata, as Sonata with his, as far as saying that he warned everybody, the writing was on the wall, that Tanahashi was letting this company slip away from him, and he's happy that people are seeing the light, like Shinsuke Nakamura, a guy who has a lot of influence on the locker room, and a guy that has a lot of stroke, if you will. And for Sonata, it's been, the time off. He had the challenge for Tyler Black, and of course, Tanahashi had to be putting his nose in it and try and put a roadblock in front of him like Miro, but he knew he was going to beat him tonight. And he says, for Tyler Black, you better hold that briefcase tightly, and you better sleep with it every night underneath your pillow. You better make sure that it does not leave your sight, because come Royal Quest, that briefcase is his. But he gets attacked, as he says that, by Tyler Black with that briefcase. So he did show up here in Australia, even though he wasn't scheduled for a matchup tonight, obviously. Flew all the way down here just to beat Sonata's ass here a little bit before Royal Quest. And a fun but hectic Autumn Attack. I cannot believe that got 100, especially the co-main event with an 83, but especially with only one thing being even over two things over a 90, that being the main and the opener. But a hell of a main event, though, in La Sombra and Rey Fenix, but my God, no one's talking about that matchup after what's going on with Nakamura being a part of Kingdom of Torture, Tyler Black, Sonata at Royal Quest with the briefcase on the line. Winner, of course, will be taking on La Sombra. Potentially, of course. There's still some time left, but that is the scheduled main event. Ryan Lee and Moxley getting a rematch, and it did actually really well. Also, we'll be seeing the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles on the line at Royal Quest as well. That's going to be exciting to see. Daichi Hashimoto has another Junior Heavyweight title matchup scheduled, as he's going to be taking on Francesco Akira, a man who beat him during the Best Super Juniors. So we'll be seeing that. And we'll also be seeing Becky Knockout Quinn, the Irish last kicker, if you will, taking on Io Shirai for the women's title. So that's going to be exciting to see. That's just some of the card. There's even more stuff happening. Of course, Konosuke Takeshita and Shingo happening on the card for the Intercontinental title. And I'm sure we'll have a Jay White Devitt, maybe even with Nakamura trios match, or they'll defend their newly won belts thanks to interference. Maybe even the rematch between Nakajima and Kenta because of the bullshit interference. You never know, as we will catch you guys there for episode 131 and for Royal Quest. Take care, everyone.